Hi everyone, I'm Cindy from Cindy Seaside Travel, and today I'd like to share with you several changes that are happening in the world of travel in 2026. First, we have Norwegian Cruise Line. They've brought back their Free at Sea. They did have it changed to More at Sea, and now they decided to bring it back as Free at Sea. So I'm not sure what those differences all were, but it's still the free unlimited open bar, specialty dining, Wi-Fi, and Shorex credits. Also for Norwegian Cruise Line, if you love those private destinations, they have just unveiled their first of many enhancements to Great Stirrup Cay with a 1.4 acre pool, splash harbor for the kids, and the adults only Vibe Shore Club. Now, Viking has announced the naming of its 9 newest river ships and their 100th ship. They started 28 years ago with only 4 ships, and in 28 years, they are now to the 100th ship. Between their river ships, their ocean ships, and their expedition ships. So kudos to Viking. They've really come a long way. Celebrity Cruises, owned by Royal Caribbean, has taken delivery of its newest ship, the Celebrity Excel. They also announced the name of its new 6th Edge series ship called the Celebrity Excite, and that's going to sail in 2028. You can probably start booking that in 2027. Royal Caribbean has also begun construction on its 7th Oasis class ship to debut in 2028. I can't wait for this. I really like Oasis class ships. Royal Caribbean's Beach Club Paradise Island is now officially opened as of January 7th, and that's located right next to the port, in the port of the Bahamas. It has 2 beaches, 3 pools, dining options, of course, live entertainment, and your transportation is via water ferries. How fun is that? Day passes can be purchased on Royal Caribbean's website. The Beach Club is part of Royal Caribbean's growing destination portfolio that they are putting together, that they have together, with more locations set to open in 2027. I believe Mexico, and I know for sure Santorini is one of them. Now, I have something I want you to be aware of if you're booking your own cruises, especially. Cruise deposits are starting to default to non-refundable deposits. So be careful when you're booking on your own to make sure you get the refundable deposit booking if that's what you want. Some cruise lines charge a percentage of the total cruise for a deposit, and you could lose quite a bit of money if you're not careful with this. There's usually an option to reschedule your cruises to a different date and ship, but there is a charge per person. Just know if you have to change and reschedule your cruise, they usually charge about $100 a person. Princess, Royal Caribbean, Celebrity, Virgin Islands all do this, just so you know. Hawaii has imposed a tourist tax, which has the potential of adding the cost of up to $500 to your cruise. Well, the federal ruling did block this as of December 31st. So they're holding Hawaii back on this tourist tax, but the hotels will still see an 11% increase. But for cruises, they've held them back. So hopefully they don't get to go ahead and do this. Otherwise, that's going to really increase people's cruises by quite a chunk of change. Now, what's happening in the airline business? Air France is set to offer Paris, Las Vegas service in April. So now you can go from Paris, Las Vegas to Paris, France. Air France, the flag carrier for France, has announced a new nonstop service between Paris Charles de Gaulle, CDG Airport, and Harry Reid International, LAS Airport, marking Las Vegas the first new destination in the airline's summer 2026 schedule. The route will operate 3 flights per week, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays, on their A350-900 aircraft. There's several other new itineraries coming to airlines, not cruise lines, airlines. So keep an eye out for that because it might be one of the destinations that you've been looking forward to going to. JetBlue and United Airlines Blue Sky partnership is officially live also, so that might make a lot of you happy. TrueBlue members can now earn points on United operated flights and redeem for United seats. Mileage Plus members can do the same thing on JetBlue flights. Each time, each airline handles its own redemptions, so you'll still book awards through the loyalty program for each airline for whose points you're using. But you'll be able to book combined JetBlue and United Airlines itineraries on one ticket, meaning you could check in one bag and one bag drop off, one set of rebooking protections. For example, you could fly from Boston to New York on JetBlue and connect onward to Frankfurt on United. So you can switch, use each airline and still be using your points, which works out really nice. TSA, they have ruled that everyone traveling domestically has to have the real ID. Now this is really important because this is at home here. If you're flying anywhere in the United States back and forth, beginning February, you will be charged $45 if you do not have the real ID. Now, you can use your passport, but it's going to take longer. So might as well just get the real ID and make it a more smoother go, through the entry lines. And I hate standing there forever. So your process may take longer to do it by using your passport, but if you prefer to do that, you can. Now this $45 fee though is going to only last for 10 days. So if you're a snowbird that goes to Florida for the winter and you have to fly back home in 30 days or 60 days, that's going to mean you're going to pay again. Okay, so just keep that in mind if you're using your passport instead and you don't want to get the real ID. Or if you are taking a 30-day cruise, you're going to pay that $45 fee coming back and going. So just get the real ID so you don't have to pay for any of it. Also, biometric entry and exit. The Department of Homeland Security ruled to begin the use of facial scans and fingerprints for entry and exiting the U.S. So what you're going to do is go up to a kiosk and facial recognition, you just look into it, and then you put your fingerprints right on the screen and it scans them. This might be aggravating for some people, but this is what they've decided is going to be the way we travel now. This is a new way to travel. It is fast, it is quick, efficient, so hopefully you adjust to it really well if this is not something you like to do. For European travel now, we got the EES, the entry-exit system. It's replacing your passport stamp, which, when they would stamp your passport, what country you were entering and leaving. That's sad for me, but they're going to replace that with facial recognition also. So you're going to look at a little kiosk and use facial recognition. It's kind of going worldwide, it seems like. This will be fully implemented by April 2026 for France, Italy, and Germany. You would just go to a kiosk and it'll scan your face and provide your fingerprints. For France, Italy, Germany, and Spain will all be using this system, just so you know, if you're traveling to those places. Now we have the ETA for UK travel. England, Wales, and Scotland will be using this. You go directly to their site, and this is like an approval for to come into the country. It's not a visa. You can complete the form there and pay. It's about $21 and lasts for 2 years. And you just complete the information about yourself, where you're from, and your travel information. Also, UK is going to hike their tax, their air passenger duty tax. That's going to be increasing in April of 2026. It's a tax to every plane leaving the UK airports. So even if you're transitioning through, you're going to get hit with this. So here's the fun part though. Here's the catch. So if you buy the premium economy or business class seats, that's the ones it applies to. It doesn't apply to the total economy seat. Depending on the type of seat you've booked, you could pay up to an additional $200. So it's the premium economy and business class seats that this affects. Now next is the ETIAS, which is European Travel Information Authorization System. That's a mouthful, for the 29 Schengen areas. This was delayed for about a year or so, but they are going to roll it out about the middle of this year. And the cost is expected to be about 20 euros. And they're saying that this is better for security and shortening the lines. So it's going to be a faster system for entering and exiting the 29 Schengen areas, and they are adamant about that. You just go online to do it. So you just type in the etias.com. It'll come up. Airport screening. You're going to see that you don't have to take your shoes off anymore, which is a wonderful thing. Also, they have better, this is here in America, they have better scanning systems for your baggage that you put on the little conveyor belt and send it through. And you won't have to pull out your liquids bags and all your electronics and stuff anymore. It's going to be able to see right through to what's in there, which is great because I hate pulling all that out, bagging it back up. Then if you have to take your shoes off, you have to do that too. Of course, I do have TSA PreCheck now, just for the purpose of getting rid of all that years ago. And I'm so happy because for me to go through the lines is just so much quicker. And it's the way to go. TSA PreCheck. Some Asian international airlines are also banning power banks and portable chargers for phones because the lithium battery inside of them, they catch fire. You cannot travel with them in your checked luggage or your carry-on luggage. You can have them, now I'm saying carry-on luggage like your little suitcase, or what is it, a 20-inch suitcase that you put in the overhead. You can have it in your underseat personal bag, but you cannot charge them in the bag, have them connected in the bag charging. You have to pull it out and have it on the tray charging. So that maybe it's because it's an airflow thing. I'm not sure why those lithium batteries blow up, but they can. A good brand though is the Anker battery. So if you are considering getting a new one, Anker makes good ones because they cool down. Once they sense that they're getting warm, they'll cool themselves down. Southwest Airlines, as you know probably, they have assigned seats now. They have zones. They're calling them zones. And if you want extra leg room, you're going to also pay extra for that extra leg room. So those zones will be premium zone seats that you actually they're going to increase their pricing on it. I don't know how much more, but you'll have to check it at the time when you're booking your flights. Also, they have a new battery rule too, but theirs is for the mobility scooters. A scooter will be allowed up to 300 watt hours. If it's over that, it cannot come on the plane. So you'll probably need to, if you have one that's like that, you probably need to contact the manufacturer and see if they sell smaller batteries, or check with the airline and find out if you can bring 2 of the 300 watts on as a backup battery. They might allow that too. And then also I want to say, because of all these crazy rules, all these things that are changing, and we know that, things happen in countries where all of a sudden they're put on red alert because they have, a crisis going on in their country, or cruise lines change itineraries. Sometimes people cannot make it on those new itineraries, or they cancel cruises altogether, which normally they reimburse you for those things, but it's good to have insurance, more important now than ever. There's all kinds of things that can happen on a trip. You could have to cancel a trip. and you could get, now insurance will reimburse you for the cost of your trip, your vacation rentals, cruises, car rentals, hotels, flights, for a covered reason. You got to read your fine print. You got to know if it's a covered reason. Also, travel delays can happen. You can be reimbursed for eligible meals, accommodations, and transportation costs during a covered delay. These are all covered if it's a covered delay, a covered cancellation. You have to pay close attention to what your fine print says. You can get sick also while you're on vacation, or just get hurt, which isn't good, but travel insurance can reimburse you for the cost of your medical treatments. One thing I always suggest is that you get medical evacuation added to your plan, and if you can, get cancel for any reason. That makes life a whole lot better when you do have to either cancel, or if you have a reason that you have to be medical evacuated for, you'll be glad you have that, because that can cost a good $30,000 just for a medical evacuation, sometimes more. Also, I would like to give you some travel tips today. Consider packing these to make your life better while traveling. A neck pillow for longer flights, because when you're sleeping, you know your head's going to go one way or the other. That'll keep it braced so that you can comfortably sleep. Snacks, gum, and mints, always on a cruise, a flight, anywhere I'm going in travel, I always pack gum in case my ears are kind of popping on a flight. Mints just because they're good, and gum and snacks. Hand sanitizer or travel size wet wipes. Those are great to have if you need to clean your hands, or if you get something on you or something gets sticky. You know, there's always those mishaps. Travel wipes are very nice to have on hand. Refillable bottle, a refillable water bottle, or I have a Yeti cup that I bring, and I keep it in the side pocket of my backpack that I carry on, because I like to travel with a backpack. Also, medications. Take at least a few days of medications, better yet, a whole week, and take a photocopy of the bottle, the medication on the bottle, so it tells what kind it is and the milligrams that it is, just in case a medical professional needs to know if something happens to you when you're away, and they need to know what exactly you're taking so they can cross-reference it on whether the type of medicine they're going to try to prescribe for you for whatever your injury is doesn't cause a problem with the current medicine you're taking, or if you for some reason have to have more of your medicine prescribed because you're going to be delayed, then at least you have that with you so that they can read it and know exactly what you have. Also, download the airlines app, download the cruise line app, download every app, the hotels app even. All those, make sure you do that so that you can see updates, make any reservation changes that have to happen, or they have a world of information on their sites always. I carry a download of every place I'm going. If it's an IHG hotel or if it's a Hilton hotel, I make sure I have that app for that hotel. And always my cruise lines and my airlines, they stay on my phone. I don't ever delete them off. I keep them on there because I travel quite a bit. Always have travel insurance for medical coverage. You never know when you're going to need it. Well, I hope this has been informative or helped you in any way at all. And if it has, please consider subscribing to my channel. I'm newer at making these videos, so they're probably not as great. I'm trying to keep the glare from the window off my glasses because I do wear glasses, and right now I can't wear my contacts because I had a eye infection, so I can't put contacts in right now. So I'm trying to keep the glare off. Hopefully I was successful with that. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Safe travels.